You got questions going out of your mind. Someone with answers, now that's hard to find. Like the what and the why and the how stuff works, or just where to go to avoid all the jerks. She's Gear Abby, Gear Abby, Gear Abby, advice that doesn't suck. Gear Abby.
Well, hello there, my outdoorsy friends, and welcome to Gear Abby, where we tackle the controversial, weird, obscure, and taboo topics that other outdoor podcasts refuse to touch. I'm outdoor educator and writer Shawnté Salabert, and I'm here to answer your burning questions about our relationships with outdoor people, places, products, and pastimes. And I want them all, because remember, there are no dumb questions, just smart advice. All right, here's how it works. You're going to send your questions to deargearabby@gmail.com, and I'll answer a few on each episode of the show. And as always, joining me today is my partner in gear, the producer of Gear Abby, and the world's #1 e-bike hater, Colin True.
You know, Shawnté, we at the e-bike hate club have scored a victory in my little town of in Southern California, where there was an ordinance passed where people under the age of 12 are not allowed to ride your e-bikes. I don't think that's young. I think that should be older, frankly. But it's, we'll take what we can get.
I feel like you're like any age, any person.
Yeah.
I think most listeners of Gear Abby may not be listeners of the Rock Fight, so you have no idea that Colin has such a deep dislike of the e-bikes.
It's mostly the e-mountain bikes. Unless you are of an age or of an ability that it is really genuinely the way that it gets you out on the trail. If you're just an able-bodied younger individual, ride a fucking analog bike.
Wow.
There you go. Getting me fired up to start off here.
Just, yeah. Sorry to everyone who had to hear that at the beginning of the episode. I have an activity to tell you about. So I actually have a call next week with somebody to talk about, this is exciting, the Professional Association of Diving Instructors, which goes by the jaunty acronym PADI. Yeah, that's right.
I think we could workshop that name.
No, I like it. I've never seen that acronym before, and I may never see it again. But
are the diving instructors professionals, or is the association professionals?
It's a very professional. You have to, you got to pay big money to be in this. You probably do, actually. But no, they actually invited me to come get certified and do open water diving somewhere beautiful.
Yes.
I do not know where. And it's all super exciting, except for I have not decided yet whether or not to tell this woman that every time I have so much as tried to snorkel, I just end up coughing up seawater. I am terrible at it. So,
you don't dive? You're not a scuba person?
I'm not. Like, I love water. I'm a Cancer. That's my sign. And so I'm a water. Like, I love water. I like being near it. I like lakes, rivers, creeks. The ocean freaks me out. And being underwater is not the place I'm most comfortable. I'm a mountain girl. I want dirt under my fingernails, Yeah,
but one of the biggest perks about where you live is access to the beach.
But that's why I just
ocean.
keep creeping eastward. You know what? You could probably, people are just, I might get hate mail for this, but I think you could count the number of times I've gone to the beach on both my hands.
That's just sad. We need to get you surfing next. But are you going to learn how to scuba?
I'm gonna, listen,
Good.
I think this is a good thing. Listeners, I know I'm telling you things I know every week on this show, but I am still a newbie in quite a lot of things. So I just want you to know that Gear Abby is humble and she doesn't know everything. Oh man, I am excited. I'm nervous. I'm not. It's weird. We're curling into December. Is that I discover new ways of new verbs all the time. I like to make up. Listen, just like Beria and Berito and Bermuda Triangle, I'm just making up new words that fit my worldview all the time. So we're going to curl into December here. We're just snaking right in there. It's like, maybe it's like we're cozying up, or like we're a candy cane.
I don't know. We're curling and now we're snaking. I don't know what we're doing here on Gear Abby today.
You know what? This is my ADHD brain speaking here, but, and I am formally diagnosed, people. Okay. I'm not just saying it. Curling makes me think that's another thing I've never done. So maybe there's some Canadians or something that want to teach me how to curl at some point.
And it's a Winter Olympics year.
That's right. Oh, yeah. No, this is?
Yeah, coming up, 26.
I feel like I should have known that. Well, let's. We're not into Olympic sports here. We're going to talk about the outdoors. So let's dive. Let's open water dive into the questions.
Let's curl into the first question.
Let's curl right in.
Dear Gear Abby, hi. It was high exclamation point. We always honor the punctuation in the letters,
Yes.
and sometimes it was a period. This is an exclamation point. I wonder if you can help me settle a debate.
Yes.
Is it actually ethical or environmentally okay to use climbing chalk outside? Signed, Brit.
Ooh, fight. All right, just kidding, Britt. I love these ethics questions, so people keep them coming. The answer to this one is a bit complex, and I think that's especially since ethical and environmentally okay may not always overlap for all people and in all places, which we'll get to. So first, let's just roll it back here a second, as I like to do. For people who are not familiar, climbers use chalk, which is either sold in chunks or dust form usually. There's a liquid form. They use it to improve their grip while they're climbing since it dries out your skin and kind of adds a little bit of friction there. The practice began in the mid-50s. I was excited to learn this when a gymnast and math nerd, professor named John Gill, wanted to be able to do more dynamic moves without flying off the rock. So he started using gymnastics chalk, which caught on, with fellow climbers. Huh. And yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, speaking of the Olympics.
Would you say that John Gill kind of curled into the chalk, or more he snaked his way in there?
He just hooked into it. No. I'm going to work on some new verbs throughout, and maybe some adjectives, maybe some adverbs. It's going to be a real grammar-tastic episode of the pod.
It'll be a test at the end.
I used to be a magazine editor, so I feel like this is my freak flag flying real high right now. All right, so history lesson aside and grammar aside, let's start with the environmental question here. So most climbing chalk is made out of magnesium carbonate. Magnesium carbonate. I did not look up how to say that. It's not the calcium sulfate that blackboard and sidewalk chalk is generally made from, and it doesn't technically poison the environment as long as it doesn't have additives like rosin, which you will find in a lot of the chalks. Rosin is, if you think about resin, you rosin a bow on a violin, you got resin in trees, it's very sticky. So you want to, that's not great. But if it's pure chalk, pure uncut chalk, it should wash away in the rain. So, you could be extra thoughtful if you're somewhere like the desert and one of those arid locations about whether or not you use it in the first place. But anywhere that's getting a lot of rain, most chalk is going to wash off pretty easily. So that brings me into the ethics question, which is the bigger meat of the sandwich here. And it's a layered one, the ethics sandwich, the chalk sandwich.
This is a Dagwood.
A Dagwood. Wow.
It's a bit of a callback. I'm showing my age. Right?
I was going to say that feels like a comic book sandwich. What am I thinking? I'm thinking of the comic that was called Dagwood,
Blondie.
Right?
Yeah, Blondie and Dagwood.
Blondie and Dagwood. Aw, I used to love every Sunday just reading the paper with my mom, and the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel had something called the Green Sheet, and that was where all the comics lived. My mom would give me that, and then the circulars that had all of the toys in it, and I would just sit there in hog heaven. All right, let's get into the ethics. So I'd say, first of all, there are often local ethics that dictate how chalk should be used in any area. Some places ban it altogether. Some ask that you use a chalk in a similar color to the rocks in that area. And in other places, there's no rules at all. It's just a free-for-all, do your thing. But you should never, ever, no matter what, never use it in culturally sensitive areas. So that's, especially anywhere where there's pictographs or petroglyphs or, anything like that. So, local ethics are one thing, but then there's also your personal ethics. So I don't know which side of the debate you're on, Britt, but you and your sparring partner should think about how you want to be in relation to the places where you're climbing. All right. So if you want to go down the Yvon Chouinard, leave no trace purist route, which a lot of people do, you might decide not to use any chalk at all. Maybe you just wipe your hands on your clothes or, carry a little towel on your harness and just make it work. You can also work on your finger strength and your mental strength, and you're probably going to sweat a lot less. So, try to wean yourself off the dust, if you know what I'm saying. So one option, Britt, is to just not use chalk at all and just tough it out. But if you do decide to chalk it up, there are a lot of things you could do to avoid making the rock look like a bunch of Wall Street guys partied on it in the 80s. First of all, you want to be thoughtful about the chalk you're choosing. Like we just talked about earlier, you might want to choose a color that's close to the tone of the rock where you're climbing. But I'd also recommend steering clear of powdered chalk outside since it creates so much mess. It's just like clouds and clouds. Like back in my day, I used to just shove a lump of solid chalk into a thin sock and tuck that into my chalk bag. And what's nice is they make these now. They're just chalk socks. I think that's what they're usually called. Yeah. But yeah, it just means you're not spraying chalk dust on everyone within a 10-foot radius. So I highly recommend the sock method. There is liquid chalk, which I mentioned earlier, and you kind of rub it into your palms like lotion. It's kind of creepy to me, but you
could also use the sock method there.
Oh, that's a deep one. Not everyone's going to get that.
I'm sorry.
This is not a children's show. Sorry if your children are listening. My friend Brooke told me that they were listening to an episode, she and her husband and their 2 kids, and I was like, I'm sorry for whatever I said.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Or we were educating the children. It's fine.
Yeah. Did they learn about horny salmon? That's great. Then that's something they can bring into
that's
biology
nature.
class. Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, so that liquid chalk, lotion-like chalk is there's the problem with it is that a lot of the brands do use rosin, that stuff that is sticky and bad. So you want to avoid those. But there are some brands that make rosin-free. Friction Labs is one of them. Great name, very appropriate for our conversation in wild country. So you can check those out. Metolius also makes a product called the Super Chalk Eco Ball, which I want Colin to say in his enforcer voice, please. Please do it. Please.
Super Chalk Eco Ball.
Metolius, listen, we're available for voiceovers and clearly great advertising.
Should add a little reverb to that one, you know?
Yeah, please do. Oh my God. But yeah, so that Super Chalk Eco Ball provides that sexy friction without leaving the unsexy marks. That is not their tagline, but if you want to hire us, we're available.
Exactly.
But yeah, also use your chalk sparingly. Try not to leave those little cheat sheet tick marks everywhere and go light when you're dusting up. It is so disgusting to reach up for a hold only to discover it's all gummed up with a thick layer of someone else's sweat and chalk. It's just so gross. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about if you're a climber. Also bring a brush and clean up after yourselves. You know, chalk is a visual blight on the environment. I don't know why I said blight like I am an old British man from the 1800s. It's a visual blight on the environment. Yeah. So we're really going off the rails today. Yeah. So
I'm not. You're
just actually quite quiet over there today.
I'm just enjoying the show.
So chalk, the visual blight on the environment. It doesn't look great. You know, not everyone is out there to go climbing. So even if you're at a popular crag, this is not a climbing gym. It's not your home board. Try to leave it as good as you found it, if not better. And before we wrap this up, I'm going to mention that there's actually a different kind of ethical question in play. Dun, dun, dun. So a couple of years back, a person with the amazing name Bradley Alf, that's A-L-L-F, Alf.
No relation.
And this is a piece that Bradley Alf wrote for Climbing Magazine that looked into the impact of manufacturing chalk. Right? We're going back. We're rewinding. That's an aspect I think most people probably aren't thinking about when they're preparing to go full Honnold out there, you know? Mm-hmm. So chalk is created from, here's another science word for you nerds, magnesite. Magnesite. And most of that comes from mines in China. So before you can start slapping it around in your callous little paws, it needs to be processed like most things. It's dunked repeatedly in a mixture of hypochloric acid and baking soda. And then you kind of press it, you heat it up, you crush it, bang, boom, there you go. You got your chalk. During the entire process, however, in this article, Alf points out that the mines and factories are just pumping dust and gases into neighboring communities, which, you guessed it, creates issues for, human and environmental health, as you might imagine. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a really interesting piece. I highly recommend you check it out. Colin will pop it in the show notes. So yeah, there's not just the ethics of how we tend to our local environments with our choices, but the larger question of how we think about the environments where our chalk and gear as a whole is made. But I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole because I'm sure this topic is going to come up time again on this podcast. But Britt, maybe I've given you something to think about. Maybe a whole second debate to have with your buddy.
I was going to defend the chalk until that last bit about how it's made. So I was prepared to come in hot, and now I'm cooled off.
You're gonna white knight the chalk.
Listen to Gear Abbey.
Well, I like to get deep sometimes here on the pod.
Apparently,
so.
You said you didn't want to go down the rabbit hole. I think you were in the rabbit hole when you said
I
that.
created a new, like an entire warren of rabbit holes. I think there was a tunnel system. It was, like an ant colony. All right. Well, save me for myself. And how about another question?
Okay, here we go. Dear Gear Abby, hello from Southern California.
Hello.
Well, hello there.
Hi.
Hello back.
So much hellos today.
In my outdoor life, I've always spent as much as my budget allows on rain gear. Now, later in life, I'm a postal carrier and had to find a way to keep the mail dry as well. I began wearing a backpacking poncho over my Gore-Tex rain gear. That's a lot of
protective mechanisms.
Retaining heat
one
there.
Body.
And have been shocked to find that this $25 item significantly aids in the comfort over the course of the day. I would never have allowed myself to pick this item in the past. It reminds me of the, quote, trash bag poncho that the ski area I worked at decades ago would give out to ill-prepared skiers. The shame. But as any backpacker knows, after you've been out in the rain for more than 2 hours, vanity goes out the window. I feel like that I would bring a poncho along on trips in the future. Have you had...
Oh, are we getting a question? Is this the question part?
I think we're getting to the question now. Have you had any experience with using this on trail? And more importantly, is this a defensible fashion choice? Please discuss. Signed, Proudly Postal. I'm just going to go ahead and say no, it's not defensible at all. As a fashion choice. The rest of it makes total sense.
Listen, okay, you can come back for a rebuttal once I'm done, but and interject at any time, which I know you're going to do whether or not I invite you to, and that's why people listen. But first of all, I salute you for both delivering the mail in all weather conditions and for your creative sign off. See, I love this. People be creative. You don't need you to be anonymous. I tell you this every week. But listen, this question is going to ring a bell for anyone who listened to last week's episode. Didn't I just say that I would never, ever, ever carry a poncho on trail, right? Because it would flap around in the breeze, yada, yada. Yes, Colin is correct. I said it. So Postal, if you listened last week, you probably already know part of my answer. But, okay, this is a rare thing here. I am going to offer a mea culpa here, just a small one. And I'm going to use this, though, as an opportunity to talk about a bigger topic. You know I love that. We're going to go down another rabbit hole. No history involved, though. I'm so sorry. But okay, we're going to start with your question, which took us about 9 light years to get to. And I'm going to break it into 2 parts. First, have I used a poncho on trail? Yes. Did it cover my body and pack? Sure, until the wind picked up. Would I carry one again? No. Okay. But, and here's my mea culpa, there actually are quite a few purpose-built ponchos that are designed to hang tough in the elements a little better than your regulation issue billowy plastic nightmare. So last week I mentioned the Six Moon Designs Gatewood Cape, which, by the way, is named for Emma Rowena Grandma Gatewood, who was the first woman to do a solo hike of the Appalachian Trail. See, okay, that is a little history, I guess. So anyway, the Gatewood Cape is made out of sil nylon, and it actually pulls double duty as a tarp tent, which makes it a pretty attractive option for minimalists and just as an emergency item you could put in your pack even while you're day hiking. So that is a very specific thing that's built for purpose, and it actually has multiple purposes, which we love. Z-Packs actually also makes the ground sheet poncho, which was named Best Poncho. What an accolade by Treeline Review. So this is about half the weight of the Gatewood Cape and costs about $100 more because it is made from everyone's favorite super sexy ultralight material.
Oh, here we go.
You know what I'm going to say, Colin? What is it?
I do.
Aw, you tell
Lloyd
me.
Vogel's favorite.
Dyneema. Can you say that in your voice too?
Dyneema. I think you said it better.
That was terrifying.
I think your I think your sultry voice was better than my enforcer voice. Is that your safe word?
We're going to start an OnlyFans after this episode. We need more sponsors. Okay. So while the ground sheet poncho is not designed to be used as a tent, it is designed to act as, wait for it, you're going to be shocked, a ground sheet under your tent.
Call back to like 2 episodes ago.
I know. No, I think this was also last week. Or no, was it 2 episodes?
No, it was a couple episodes ago,
okay. All right. Sometimes it all runs together in my mind.
It does.
But yeah, so it's another twofer, just a different kind of twofer. The biggest drawback for me is that it only covers about half your arms. So personally, it's dead to me. Just doesn't make sense to me in the rain. I want all my arms covered. All of my arms.
All of your arms?
2 of them. but also
little
the
known
entire
fact, deargearabby has 16 arms.
Yeah, I'm actually Shiva. All right, Sea to Summit, they also make 2 different ponchos, including the Ultra Sil Nano Tarp Poncho, which is a lot of words. And that is actually cheaper than the Z-Pax one and can also work as a ground sheet. So if you want to save a little money, go for that one maybe. But if you want to get a little freaky with it, I know you do. Colin's smiling right now because he does. You can pair one of these ponchos with something called, the brand is 3 Full Gear. That's the number 3, FUL gear. They're minimalist rain pant legs, which are essentially rain pants without a crotch.
Yeah, we highlighted this, I think, on one of our garage grown gear reads.
So you can get them there. They're actually $11.99, so that's a real steal for basically rain pant chaps. So, if that is your freak flag, let it fly. I mean, I kind of wish we would have known about these when I was answering the question about getting busy outdoors and lightweight things you can bring.
Right. Or when we were making fun of the GIMP from Pulp Fiction a couple weeks ago, too.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Listen, there's so many multi-use gear. We love it. So, I mean, personally, I'm going to stick to my rain jacket. And I actually have a rain skirt that I use in summer months. I use rain pants when it's colder out. But I might change my mind if anyone wants to send me one of these fancy ponchos to try out. But anyway, it's the second part of your question that Colin answered so rudely earlier. But that is actually what drew me in. So you asked, as a reminder, is this a defensible fashion choice? Colin, what side did you fall on again?
Oh, it is not.
Okay.
Have not changed my opinion in the last 3 minutes.
Okay. Well, that's fine. What about the rain chap pants, though? Defensible?
All in on those.
Yeah, I knew it.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Let your freak flag fly, Colin.
I might have them on right now. You don't know.
I'm so glad I don't know. All right. So here's the thing, and this could be applied to a lot of the things we talk about on this podcast. Use what works for you. Okay?
100%.
That's right. So if you're enjoying being mayor of Poncho Town, drape yourself to your heart's content. If you want to wear rain chaps, razzle dazzle us, postal cowboy. If you are rain-killed curious, slide one over your postal trousers and see how it feels. I feel like in the outdoor space, we get a lot of people who say that you should only wear this or that. You should only wear boots when you hike. Trail runners will mess up your ankles. It's stupid to hike in shorts. You need to wear pants. You're not a real cyclist unless you wear a matching kit. Like surfing in a bikini is stupid. It's just endless. Like people constantly say shit like that. It's dumb. These people are judgy assholes, my friend, okay? The only person who actually has to deal with the consequences of your fashion choices is you. Okay, so do what you did here. Read reviews, ask people questions, check out stuff you're interested in the store, and then pick what you like, okay? A poncho is absolutely a defensible fashion choice, and that's because you don't owe anybody any kind of explanation or defense for putting something on your body that you like to wear.
100% agree on that. Look, at the end of the day, you be confident about the choices you make. That said, in defense of the judgy assholes out there, because guess what? We're all judgy assholes. We make a Snapchat. If you see, Mayor of Poncho Town rolling along, you tell me you're not going to have a comment in your head. It's going to happen. But if it's for you,
no, it's the rain pants that I'm going to have a comment on. The chaps.
I go back to I definitely am interested in talking to some of the founders here of God, who does this and why? Because the idea of this is your ground cloth, man, it poured all night. And guess what you get to do now? You get to pick it up off the dirty ground full of leaves and dirt and sticks, and you get to put it on your body. Hey, that sounds great. No.
It exists for all the gram weenies out there who want to carry the least amount of stuff possible and try not to die while doing it.
And that's probably who I'm judging the most. It's you know what? I get it, but also, carry a rain jacket. It's okay.
Well, hello, my outdoorsy friends. It's your favorite time of the week. Time to head to the official gear garage of Deargearabby, Garage Grown Gear. Our friends over at GGG are here to make sure that all of you get the newest outdoor stuff you need for your next adventure. What kind of stuff, you wonder? Well, here's some examples. All right, you want a bear canister that you can open, but bears can't? Protect your own personal Bearia with the Wave 6.6-liter bear canister by Grubcan. I love that name, Grubcan. Looking for a unique way to carry your stuff on your day-to-day adventures? Check out Made in the USA range of sling bags. And of course, the LTFP, that stands for Little Tiny Fanny Pack, by Bull Moose Soft Goods. That is exactly how you have to pronounce that. And finally, why not just rep GGG yourself with some GGG merch? This is very exciting for me. Pick up the GGG Groovy long sleeve t-shirt and you can let the world know that you're an ultralighter and that you're groovy. Whatever you're looking for, Garage Grown Gear and Gear Abbey are the perfect outdoor combo. So get shopping by heading over to garagegrowngear.com right now.
No Gear Abbeys were harmed by making her say GGG repeatedly.
While daydreaming about future backpacking trips, I had an epiphany. Maybe I could have an even better time out there if I lightened my pack. That's when I decided to try out my very first trekking pole tent, Gossamer Gear's The One. And honestly, it was a match made in ultralight heaven. Weighing in at just 18 ounces, The One sets up in minutes using just trekking poles and a handful of stakes. And I'll tell you what, The One didn't just lighten my pack, it simplified my camp setup so that I had more time to enjoy the natural beauty all around me and allow me to spend more time with my favorite bidet. Oh yeah. Gossamer Gear designs products for people on the move. Rooted in a legacy of simplification, their philosophy is that taking less allows you to do more. And if you want to test this philosophy yourself, head over to gossamergear.com and use code GEARABBY at checkout to save $20 off your order of $100 or more. You know, Colin, all I want in this life is to see you wearing a pair of overalls with a rain jacket or rain poncho over it, and maybe the rain chaps over the overalls. I'm just saying.
Well, if I'm wearing a rain jacket over my overalls, you won't be able to tell that I'm wearing overalls.
No, it's a poncho, but then when the wind blows it up, we'll be able to see the overalls.
It's like I'm like Marilyn Monroe on the grate.
Wow. All right, that's a beautiful image to leave things on here. So let's pop into the next question, please.
Well, I have been referred to as the Marilyn Monroe of the outdoor industry before, so clearly it happens to me all the time.
Wow.
Okay, next question. Dear Gear Abby, loyal listener here, love the show.
Aw.
I feel like there's a real kind of like 1920s reporter vibe to this person.
Loyal listener here, love the show.
Hey there, lady. Loyal listener here, love the show. I feel like I have the perfect question for you. Hey, okay, we'll be the judge of that if this is the perfect question. All right. What? Actually, this might be the perfect question. I'm reading ahead. What happens if you need to poop? Actually, it's going to end right there. It's the perfect question, right? No. What happens if you need to poop outside in the winter? Mm-hmm. Like if I'm out fat biking all day and there aren't any bathrooms around and I can't dig a cat hole because the ground is frozen, am I just supposed to bury it in the snow? I just feel weird about doing that. Is there some sort of protocol here? Yours truly, a virgin snow pooper.
Ooh, another good sign off. I love it.
If you're out there fat biking and you got to take a fat dump, what do you do?
Perfect. This question actually brings back a very visceral memory for me.
I'm sure it does.
You know, I am a fountain of poo stories. The first time
fountain of poo are words that should never be together.
Yeah, that wasn't the stories part is important there. The first time I had to drop a deuce in the snow, I was a student in the wilderness travel course, which I think I've talked about before. I ended up teaching it for a long time. We were doing our winter backpacking trip, and I remember just quickly pulling down all 12 of my layers and doing my business. But then my mind just went blank. I could not remember for the life of me what the hell I was supposed to do once I dropped it, you know? So I just kind of stared at it for a second, kicked some snow over it, and then just felt guilty the rest of the trip because I just kept thinking about somebody finding my petrified turd when the snow melted in the spring. Anyway, this question speaks to me on a deep level.
Clearly.
Ah, yes. Brace yourself, virgin. Can I call you virgin?
That sounds like such an insult. Whatever, virgin.
Whatever, snow poop virgin. What does that make me then? My snow poop?
I don't know.
Hoe?
I don't. Yeah,
that's
you
right.
said you.
I'll
I
wear
can't
that
say the
badge
words
proudly. Thank you. That's right. If I call myself that, it's very empowering. Listen to me, the snow poop hoe, as I tell you a little story here, because listen,
hashtag
virgin,
poop hoe.
please don't use that hashtag. All right. So I don't know if you're going to like what I'm about to say, but here's the truth. You should be packing out your poop in the winter, not leaving it there on the ground like some stanky little snowman. Okay. You are absolutely right in thinking that you're not going to be able to properly bury it when the ground is rock solid when it's cold out. And you are right in feeling weird about just leaving it there for the future human and animal visitors to find. Summer heat and moisture can speed up decomposition during that time of year, but nothing is breaking down in the colder months. It's just sitting there like a little disgusting log. So we've talked about wag bags before on this pod. Those are the little kits that open up like a target for your duty. I did a really great demonstration on Instagram you can go see. And those are the best solution here. So you could toss one in your pack when you're out on a long adventure where you might need to take
a wag bag.
A wag bag. Yes.
Yeah, clearly wanted to differentiate what you're talking about tossing in your pack.
Yeah, the wag bag, okay? Yes, thank you, Colin, for clarifying for our listeners.
It's okay. That's what I'm here for.
But yeah, so, I've picked mine up. You can get wag bags usually at ranger stations and areas where they're commonly used, the desert, the Whitney area, Shasta, like certain areas you can pick up wag bags. You can also buy them online or at some of the outdoor shops. You can also just make your own. It's not as hard as you might think. What you basically want is you want that big outer bag of some sort that you can kind of seal everything into. Then you want a smaller zip top. The zip is very important here. You want a bag that seals on the inside. Okay, that's going to be your drop zone. And you want to put a little bit, if you have cat litter, you could put cat litter or sawdust if that's easier for you. Put it in there to help with moisture absorption. And there you go. Bob's your uncle. You made your little wag bag.
What does Bob's your uncle mean?
Haven't you seen Austin Powers?
Yeah.
And there you go, baby. Bob's your uncle.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. A little deep cut, but okay, I'm with it. Go ahead.
That's right. I think it's a British saying. You know what the British probably aren't saying is these two words I'm about to say together, which is poop tube. This is another method you can use. The climbers use this all the time on big wall climbs and some of the alpine environments. So this is how this works. And it's not, you may have a very strong visual right now, but let me describe it to you. So you're going to do your business into some sort of landing pad. I've actually seen people talk about using coffee filters for this, saying they're the perfect option. That makes me very glad that I'm an espresso drinker. And then you're going to chuck the whole thing into a small sealable bag. Again, sealable. Seal it well. Then you're going to cram that bag into a PVC tube that's capped on both ends. You're going to unpop one end, put the bag in there, recap it. And that is a whole lot of effort for single day activities, but it is an option if you want to look like, a weirdo carrying a giant PVC tube full of poop out there. I don't want to limit you. What do we not do on this podcast, Colin?
Kink shame?
That's right.
Is this kink shaming?
I mean, it could be.
This is more poop shaming. I need a climber to write in who does this, and I just need to know the upsides of. I'm sure if it's a thing. Deargearabby's talking about it. It's a thing.
It's a real thing.
I want an experienced poop tuber, tube pooper, whatever poop tuber that works too, to write in. Yeah. This sounds like
Alex
a
Honnold,
terrible idea.
If you're available, we could have asked you anything, but I think this might be the ultimate question. I feel like he's probably talked about this before. In fact.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know.
He probably just I have such a diet that I absorb every calorie that I have and I maximize it all and I don't ever poop. So it's but anyway, I need to understand the tube pooping a little more.
You know what? Google at your own discretion. I've described as much as I'm willing to. Okay.
That's fair.
I have not tried that option. I want to be clear about that as well. I only poop in toilets
that
or
makes
holes
me
in the ground.
So happy that you have not.
I haven't crossed that threshold yet and I do not plan to, but I will not judge anyone who does. But listen, if you can't bring yourself to do either of those things, or if you have an emergency need to drop trow and you're just not prepared, you can bury it in the snow as a last resort, okay? You're going to need to dig as deep as you can, like go full on drop toilet ditch digging here, at least a little deeper than the 6 inches that's normally recommended for cat holes. So you're going to do your business and then... Again, I'm sorry for the visual. You're going to use a stick or something and you're going to swirl it around in the snow. The idea is that you want to break up the solids so that it's not just petrifying out there, okay? You're going to help it become one with the earth again. Gross, but probably not as gross as squatting over a coffee filter. I don't know. I mean, it really depends on your...
No, this is way grosser.
Oh, man. But here, listen, Colin, this isn't gross. We're going to end on a high note here. If you have a body that operates like clockwork, you can also try to plan ahead to avoid having to do this in the first place. I am blessed with regularity, so I just have a glass of warm water, a little bit of a carby snack in the morning, and like 20 minutes later, I'm ready to go. That's my solution. I'm
trying to are we going to call this episode, poop tubes and snow slurries? I mean, what is the...
Leave the slurry out of it. I didn't say that. You did. Okay. Gross.
You implied it.
Oh man! Well, we're rolling into the end of the episode here. We're curling into it. If we're still curling, maybe now we're springing into it, leaping. What do you got? What are we gonna end on? What kind of note?
Hold on, I have to cue up a sound effect for this one. Okay, it's time for the Gear Nerd's favorite segment. What's in my pack? That's a sound effect I have over here.
Oh, I love it.
What's in my pack?
Wait, that's...
So, Gearabby, what's in your pack this week? There are variations on the sound effects.
Wow. When you say it, it reminds me of it took me a while because last time you said it in the same tone, and I realized what it was is you sound like, I'm David S. Pumpkins.
I love David S. Pumpkins. But I'm not saying it. It's the sound effects machine that I have right here.
I know, but you saying it, that's what I get in my heart. Well, all right. So there are people who are going to be thrilled about this and people who are going to be deeply confused about what I'm about to say, but I'm going to tell you about how I fell in love with wind shirts as an essential layer.
Thank God I thought you were going to say a PVC pipe that you took rock climbing once.
We didn't even take the opportunity, by the way, to make any laying pipe jokes. So that's really
oh my God.
a shame on both of us.
Disappointed. Damn it. Yeah. We should just end the pod right now.
There's somebody who listened and was like, that's a missed opportunity.
Very, very much so.
I apologize to everyone for the 7th time this
I made
episode.
a sock jerk off joke, but I couldn't think of laying pipe when we had the PVC.
No.
Damn it. I'm so disappointed in myself.
Yeah, I much prefer a poop joke, Colin, just for future reference. I think probably the listeners would too. All right. So anyway, wind shirts. It's not a windbreaker. It's not a wind jacket. It is a wind shirt, although many of them have zippers. So listen, it's basically a lot thinner than a rain jacket, like really thin. And it makes it more breathable, but the weave is tight enough to prevent wind, to give you wind protection. It can even, a lot of times they're actually a little water resistant. Water will usually beat up on them. It really depends on what they're made out of. But my backstory is that back in the glory days of 2018, the good folks at Montbell, remember that? Remember when we didn't know about global pandemics? Things, so many things. I was younger then. Weren't we all? But anyway, back then, so the people at Montbell sent me it's the Tachyon wind shirt. I think they called it the Tachyon parka. And they sent it to me to try out. And I remember pulling it out of the box and immediately thinking this thing is bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It weighed nothing. It's just over 2 ounces. Looked like it was made out of a hope and a dream. I could ball this thing up in my fist and still have room in there. I figured it would rip if I even gave it a stink eye. So this thing, I did not have high hopes when I was trying it. So, and I had heard of wind shirts leading into this. I don't know. Are you familiar with wind shirts, Colin?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Okay.
No, but it's the same as like your first interaction with Alpha, and I've had that too. When you're looking at something like, fools, this could not possibly work.
Right. Yeah. This does kind of harken back to that conversation. I just love talking about materials. But yeah, so I'd heard of wind shirts before my little special delivery came in, but honestly, they seemed like something that ultra runners carried as kind of their oh shit piece,
right?
To throw on over their little tank top and booty shorts while they were out there if the weather turned. And being someone who is not an ultra runner and who is also deeply wedded to carrying a traditional rain jacket, as we've all learned, I did not really understand where a wind shirt would fit in my quiver, as we say. But being a good outdoor rider, decided to try it out. So I took it on a trip to New Mexico, where I think we experienced every single season in the span of a few hours. It was really something, felt like Wisconsin. But yeah, as soon as the breeze picked up, it started spitting rain. Then there were light snow flurries, like everything happened that day. And all I had with me was this little wisp of nothing. And so I was like, well, whatever, I'm just going to throw it on because it was the only thing I had. And I was shocked at how much warmth it added almost immediately. I was like, all right, what is this wizardry? So I trusted it. Not that long after, I took it out on the Colorado Trail with me. And honestly, I kind of threw it in there as an afterthought. I was like, I can just send it home at my first resupply stop if it sucks. But the joke was on me because that wind shirt became my favorite layer on the whole trip. I would pop it over my hiking shirt in the morning when it was kind of cold, but I didn't want to overheat in my puffy. I'd wear it when there was light rain and wind. I wore it as my camp shirt in the evenings, and I wore it with my rain pants when I was doing my laundry. So it was my laundry outfit for everything else. And this is a real mark in the plus column. I remember being very impressed that it took at least a week and a half for that thing to smell like armpits. So
pretty good.
Yeah. And I'm strong. I think we've discussed this on the podcast. That's right. I'm just a factory over here. So yeah, it is still my favorite layer just because it's so versatile. It's so portable. It's small and light enough that I take it on almost every single trip I go on. I just toss it in the bag. I carry it in fanny packs when I'm out walking. I throw it in my running vests when I'm out running. It's just the right layer for me to add just a tiny bit of warmth and protection without turning me into a one-woman sweat factory, because I am, again, a prolific sweater. But yeah, like one last thing, I think despite how flimsy that thing looked to me, the wind shirt, it is shockingly durable, at least the one that Montbell made. I have worn it in the desert, scrambling in the mountains, fighting off trail in the forest. It does not have a single hole or snag on it. It is freakish how strong that thing is. I think the only issue I've ever had, and this is absolutely user error, is that I threw it in the dryer by accident and the zipper got all screwed up. But I sent it to Montbell and they repaired it for me for free. It was absolutely a delight. But I'm sad to tell you all that they don't make this one anymore. They have other wind shirts. You can go to their site and look for them, but they don't make the Tachyon, so it's kind of a collector's item now. That's right. But yeah, I mean, I am not letting this thing go. It's my little emotional support layer, and you have to pry it out of my dead cold hands.
Yeah, the wind shirt is actually a really, I think, underrated piece of apparel. And by the way, Mountain Hardwear makes some good wind shirts as well. It's usually it is made from a stretch woven, which is something like maybe a pair of like synthetic shorts would be made out of, which means it's going to be versus like alpha, which is a knit, which means it's more prone to snagging, things like that. A woven is kind of done in a way where it's going to have a little bit more abrasion resistance, and usually with the yarn that will actually be abrasion resistant, like nylon and things like that. Sometimes maybe they put a little coating on it. But I think the point you make, and this kind of is a hack that only people who probably go outside a fair amount learn, is that anytime you put something on, you're going to retain some heat.
That's right.
And I think, right, I mean, how many times I did it the other day. It's fall here where we're recording in North America. And I had the sun's just peeking out after it was kind of cloudy and raining. I'll throw on this hoodie. And within 5 minutes, I wasn't even hiking. It was just like on a walk. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm taking this thing off because I'm sweating. So it's that seasonal thing. And then in the spring, you always maybe leave a little too much on or don't put enough on, whatever it is. That this kind of layer is that kind of, like you said, it's that sweet spot. Mm-hmm. Easy to pack, easy to put on. But yeah, it's going to retain heat. It's not even like, it's just not going to, it doesn't dump heat like maybe you expected it to. And it just doesn't have any insulation, but it's just enough of a bump to keep you comfortable when you otherwise wouldn't be.
That's right. It's the middle bear in the Three Bears in the Forest.
The baby bear. The baby bear. It's called Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It's a very famous story, Shawnté. I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
I don't know what just happened there. Wow.
I don't know where Middle Bear came from.
Because it's the middle one. Isn't that the one that's
just right? No, it's the baby. The baby was just right. The dad's bed was too hard. The mom was too soft. The baby bear was just right.
Wow. In my defense, nobody has read that story to me in a while, okay?
We just curled right into that story, didn't we?
Curled right out of it, apparently. Oh, man. Well, that's it for this episode of Gear Abby. Until next time, send your burning questions about your relationships with outdoor people, places, products, and pastimes over to deargearabby@gmail.com, and I'll do my best to answer them or find someone else who can. And of course, head over to your podcast listening service of choice and subscribe, rate, and review to support the pod. This is all super important, and it really makes us feel good inside. And if you're an Instagram user, follow us on Insta @GearAbbyPod. In the meantime, today's episode was produced by David Karstad and Colin True, art direction provided by Sarah Gensert, and I'm Shawnté Salabert. And remember, there are no dumb questions, just smart advice.